Don't forget to like and share this broadcast with your friends and family on Facebook Live as well as on YouTube. Let all of your friends and family know to subscribe so that you know when the Center of Hope is going live.
Well, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your co-host tonight, Bishop Mitchell Taylor. And if it's Monday night and it's 9 p.m., you can rest assured it's time for Real Talk. As you're coming into the virtual sanctuary on today, as you're coming into the program, I need you to hit that share button right away and let folks know that Real Talk is on the air. We have an exciting discussion planned for you on this evening, and I am ready to get started and to share what we have planned for you on tonight. Listen, as you're coming in, just hit that share button and let others know that we're on and we're live. Also, use the comment section to register your praise reports, your testimonies, and for this show, your questions, your comments, your contributions. Very important tonight as we're talking about a very salient topic. I'll release it in just a few moments, but I need you to give me some feedback. Talk to me about this subject matter, what it means to you, how it impacts you, what it makes you feel. What do you feel as we're talking about this subject matter? And I need your feedback. I need your questions. I need your comments. As you're coming in, type in the comments section a greeting, a salutation for your fellow Real Talkers so that we can begin to amplify the dialogue amongst each other on this evening. As you're coming in, just greet us. Let us know that you're here on tonight so that we could acknowledge you on this evening. Joanna, bless you on tonight. Justina Session, bless you on tonight. Mother Gray, bless you on tonight. Christina Stokes, bless you on tonight. We got Justina and we got Christina. Barbara Smith Taylor, bless you on tonight. So they're coming into the virtual platform on tonight. And as you're coming in, I need you to hit the share button. Evangelist Laverne Wilson, we're praying for you as you lost your loved one. I wish that the Center of Hope International was in service so that we could accommodate you. But unfortunately, we are in disrepair right now. But God is helping us, and we'll be back soon in our sanctuary. Mother Shirley Shea, all the way from Boston, Massachusetts. Bless you, Mother. Thank you so much for joining us. Yvonne East. Bless you, Yvonne. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. Blessings to you as you're coming in. As you're coming in, hit that share button. We're going to get started in a minute on tonight because I got a lot of ground to cover. And I wanted to come in early. That's why I'm in early, because I want to cover a lot of material on tonight. And I want you to cover it with us on this evening. Lakeisha Hampton, bless you. Bless you. Thank you for joining us on tonight. As you're coming in, please don't forget to hit the share button. Let folks know that we're on the air with you on this evening. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic on tonight. So you don't want to miss one moment of this telecast. All right. I'm going to get started. I'm going to set the foundation for us. Bishop Page will be joining us in a few moments. But I want to set the foundation on tonight. We're going to be talking tonight from the subject matter, truthfulness. We're going to be talking from the subject matter, truthfulness. What it means to be truthful. And I think that this is going to be a very salient conversation. It's going to be very solemn, but most importantly, I believe it's going to be sincere in content and in character. And I'm praying that you'll be able to capture the essence of our conversation on tonight. please forgive me for running in late tonight, and just came from several meetings. Didn't have time to kind of decompose and change and get into our real talk, casual conversation and presentation at the same time. So forgive me for being suit and tied. I feel like snatching the tie off right now. But anyway, the producer is going to let me know when Bishop is here. When he's here, please bring him on. And I want to just get started so that we can bless you, Bishop.
Bishop Taylor, how you doing, man? Wait, why are you so dressed up tonight with your glasses and your tie and your... Listen, maybe I need to go backstage and put on the proper tie. What's going on?
I tried to call you earlier and let you know that I called you to ask you to make sure that you were early, because I was anticipating being late.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
But the Lord helped me, and I was able to get here at about 10 minutes to. And so, but I just didn't have time to change into our normal casual wear. So please forgive me. I'm not trying to show you up. You know,
wait. You did. You know, I got 2 Bible seminaries I teach at, Asbury and Midwestern. And tonight, you know, I happen to be in meetings myself. So I just got off and I'm saying, my man Mitch is what's the problem? Did I miss the memo or something?
Well, listen, God is good. He's been good to us. How was your Palm Sunday celebration on yesterday?
Man, it was fantastic. You know, I had, of course, 10 a.m. on the virtual platform. 12 o'clock, we had our in-person worship. And then last afternoon, I was in Central Islip at the installation service of Justin Greaves as the assistant pastor of the Holy Church of Christ, and his aunt was being elevated or vested as an elder. So, and then of course our Sunday night platform. Say I had a full day yesterday.
Well, I couldn't. I was
well,
all
first
over.
of all, you couldn't be there because they tell me you was dismantling the greater. My mother said you just dismantled that church at 132 East 111th Street. You and the Center of Hope have taken over Harlem.
No. Let me tell you something. Your father and mother, and listen, and your father, because he's in the mic a lot, he is so anointed. He is scary. Okay. And, you know, I'm sitting in the back, you know, waiting for my instructions from Bishop. And, you know, we already worked out that he was going to preach Palm Sunday. And on Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, I already had Pastor Olumide coming in. You know, that was planned. Like every year he comes in. That's the time when we really bless him with some mission money to take back to Africa, blah, blah, blah. So I said, Bishop, you preach Palm Sunday because I got Olumide coming in East. He said, okay, no worries. We'll work it out. And so anytime he say we're working out, you always got to be prepared, you know? So I was kind of prepared, and I was sitting waiting for instructions. And he says, listen, give the old man a break today. And man, I said, oh Lord, I thought I was going to be able to skip this presentation today.
Father, let this cup pass for me, right?
please. But I mean, let me tell you something, man. Wow, it is really, man, worshiping at Greater Highway Deliverance Temple the last few weeks, especially even this past Sunday. We'll be there again next Sunday. And just FYI, we're going to be there every Sunday after at 11 a.m. So we're not even doing the 3 p.m. If we do the 3 p.m., it's going to be an extra service, but we're going to do our morning worships with Greater Highway Deliverance at 11 a.m. until our sanctuary is done, you know. And I, I think, I think the Center of Hope, it's good for us because, to really see, sometimes you get, caught in your silo of worship, and to really see and experience how other people, that are close to you, like, I mean, they're like my parents, but we're all so busy. We don't have, except in the rare occasions when they call me to come preach or whatever the case may be, I'll go. But having that corporate fellowship and just seeing how they do things, they're so regimented, and it really was amazing to me. And the communion service on Sunday was amazing. It was amazing, and so the way they, I learned a lot. Rickley, my nephew, amazing. He's him, his wife, they're great ministry team. LaWanda, your niece, she's awesome and anointed, so I mean, there's just a lot of dynamics that are happening, in that space right now. So I'm grateful. I'm really, really grateful for it.
Isn't it amazing how we both talked about during the pandemic, collaboration and partnership,
right,
would be the new way of ministry.
Right.
Just finding the proper space with the right individuals where we can bring all our collective gifts and talents together. I think it's a blessing for both congregations. So I'm excited. I'm excited to hear.
I'm surprised because I connected you and a couple other pastors with some resources, and everybody called me and said thank you, but you're one of the other 8. Where are the other 9? I don't know. I said,
you know what? It's amazing. It's so funny because this is crazy, because on yesterday morning, I got 100+ boxes of sanitizer in the church, right? Down in the lower level. I said, saints, listen, whoever wants a box. I said, listen, let me say this. You can't take all the boxes. But man, and to find out that the guy is a person that practices our faith like we do. And man, it was a tremendous connection. And anytime I need something, he said, just call him. And now we're connected. But all of that has always happened because of you. Even we were feeding those thousands of people during the pandemic in the community. All of that is because of our connection, and you made it happen. You worked with Elder Austin. Elder Austin worked with your team, and for the 3 years of the pandemic, we were feeding people in the community. So you've always been a connector. And let me say this. I want to congratulate you on being listed as one of the Black-owned banks in the United States. I watched the doc. It was tremendous. Urban Upbound. I mean, man, listen, it's tremendous for you to be listed amongst 50 other Black-owned banks in America. What a tremendous accomplishment. I mean, I salute you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank God for small victories, right? And in that vein, we are, and I guess I can say it now because I wired $530,000 to make it happen. We just put a 10% down payment on a new building that we're purchasing on Steinway Street. Cash. Never in Astoria, Queens, has there been a Black organization to buy a commercial property in the central shopping district of Astoria, Queens. This ain't Southeast Queens where all the Black Flight went. This is Astoria, the home of the Ku Klux Klan, the former home of David Dukes. Come on, talk to me, somebody. And so on Steinway Street, people that know, there are no, listen, we are the first Black. Now, I'm not talking about renting a restaurant, renting a hookah lounge. I'm talking about buying it and owning it. Right. And I'll tell you a story about Astoria and my relationship with buying stuff in Astoria. When me and my wife first got married in 1984, I was living in my own apartment in Queensbridge, 4005 12th Street. She was living with her mother, which was a shame. 4109 Vernon Boulevard. 4109 Vernon
Don't let
Boulevard.
them do you like that, Barbara. Don't let them do you like that.
On the other side of the development. Now, when I said, listen, I'm gonna take you out of the projects. When we get married, you know, I'm gonna take you out of the projects. And when I didn't know it was gonna be so difficult. So I started looking for apartments in Astoria. And I was much lighter than I am now. I guess when you get older, you get darker. I was much lighter than I am now. And somebody must be saying, man, he must have been light white. And so when I went to these apartments, they said, sure, Reverend, congratulations, bring your wife back. And so, you know, when I would bring her back, you know, and she's like 5 shades darker than me, you know, they say, oh man, it was just rented. And that happened multiple times that happened until
So
finally
she's the reason why. She's the reason why.
No. Finally, I got the message. And you know what I did? A couple of years later, after all the white people wouldn't rent to me, you know what I did? I went and bought a 3-family house. I bought it. I said, you ain't gonna rent to me? I'm gonna rent to you. And that started my trek in buying property in Long Island City. Now, my father was the first one to buy in 1961, you know, and so, you know, breaking, you know, glass ceilings and things of that nature has been something the Taylor family has done in Long Island City, Western Queens, Astoria for the last, since 1961. And so, you know, I'm just grateful to God. Happy birthday to Paris Clark, one of my former members and trustees. She's now with Bishop what's his name? Darrell Young. Darrell Young. Yes,
Darrell
she's
Young.
with a great man of God, great church, great person. And so happy birthday, Paris. She is now the legal drinking age of 21. So go get a drink, girl. So, Bishop, the topic today is truth. The topic today is truth. And I want to read this. We got a lot of ground to cover on tonight. Society, especially Western society, places a high value on truth. Truth is the foundation for a fair and just society. So much so, in our legal justice system, we are required, if we witness, to be sworn in to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, right? So most modern religions also have something to say on the matter of truth. It is clear that religion places a high value on the principle of truthfulness, whether it is, and just dealing with the big 3, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And if I go down a little bit further to the 5, you know, Buddhism and Hinduism, you know, all of them deal with the ethic of truth. But is truthfulness an outdated principle in our society today? Or does it still have value? And it would seem like this would be, you know, a real, why would two, you know, men of the cloth, if you want to call it that, two clergymen, two religious leaders, why would you talk about truth and question whether it still has value? And I listen, I want to just put out some things, because there is a synonymous reality amongst all five of the major religions, the three being Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and Buddha and Hinduism coming next. Buddha says three things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the last one, the truth. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father except by me. The psalmist says, he who walks uprightly and works righteousness and speaks the truth in his heart, he who does not backbite with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, nor does he take up a reproach against his friend. Psalms 15, verses 2 and verses 3. I highlighted that because there are at least two aspects of truthfulness, Dr. Page, and I want you to help the Real Talkers on tonight, because you're good at this. And we've heard this before: being true to yourself and being true to others. Now, I'm going to set this up with a Shakespearean quote, and it says, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as night the day, that thou canst not then be false to any man. Let me paraphrase. If you're true to yourself, it's unlikely that you'll be false to others. So, Bishop, how important is truth today? How important is it to us today?
Well, when Shakespeare, or that Shakespearean thought, Shakespeare was really talking about two aspects of truth: normative truth and subjective truth. And normative truth is more an orthodox truth where we all collectively will agree that this particular thing, place is true. Subjective truth is how we view things from our particular lens. So when you start dealing with truth, there's always normative and there's always subjective. The problem today is most people's truth is laced and filtered through subjective reasoning and their own personal ideologies, perspectives, and understandings, which fall outside orthodox classical truth, which all of us should embrace to a great degree. So I think the Bible says in John chapter 8, verses 31, 32, I think maybe we need to read that. And Jesus said to the Jews who have believed in him, if you continue in my word, you are truly my disciple, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. So I think when you start thinking about from a religious perspective, we are supposed to be exclusivists as it relates to truth, that Jesus Christ is the only way. No one can be saved except they come by Jesus, who is what? The propitiation of our sins, who dies an ignominious death, who sacrifices that all of us could become the righteousness of God. He that knew no sin becomes sin, that we become the righteousness of God. He justifies us. That is not subjective. That is a normative truth as it relates to us in our religious perspective. Now, anything else comes from a subjective lens. So I think when we start talking about truth, we got to see what classification we put the truth that we are purporting or ascribing to. What category to put that in?
Well, that's great. I knew I knew you was gonna take us there. So that leads me to a great nexus. Okay. Is it ever right not to tell the truth?
There is a way. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof is death. I don't think that there is ever a time that we should not walk in the light, in the revelation of truth. Now, here's the issue. Are people who we are giving the truth to, are they ready to hear that truth? And I think that really becomes the issue or the polarization of the dialogue, because my father and mother both told me there's certain truth that you take to your grave, or there's certain things that you should not share, because if you share it, it can do more harm than it can do good. So I think it's based on the situation and the circumstance.
So Jack Nicholson, I think, helped us in his movie.
That movie,
A Few Good Men, and he was on the stand, and they were trying to get to the crux of the issue, and the female prosecutor was badgering him about the truth. And finally, Jack exploded on the stage and uttered these famous words: "You can't handle the truth." Bishop, are there times when the truth is not appropriate? When let me say this. I think there are two possible ways where a person can not tell the truth. Number one, not provide any information or provide false information. Right? Now, do you need to tell, just to answer that question a little bit, do you need to tell everything?
No. And we've said that on this platform, that living too loud brings you unnecessary attention. And we have a litany or a bevy of individuals that we can point to that live their lives so loudly that it brought them unwarranted, unnecessary attention. So I think, yes, there are times when silence is warranted. And I'll say this: silence can never be misquoted. It may be misunderstood, but it can never be misquoted.
Let me ask you to answer this question of a real talker tonight, and I want you to keep these questions coming. If someone knocked on my door and said, "I'm going to lynch your child or do something to your child," is your child home? Nope. And then they said, "That's the truth." Is your child home? Nope. So what about those instances, Bishop?
I mean, again, I think that they warrant case by case discussion and conversation. You know, if you know someone is going to be harmed, you're going to do all that you can to keep them out of harm's way. So you may not speak that truth that they're in the bedroom in the back. You may not. I mean, I think those type of situations are case by case.
And you know what? I've got something from a journalist who was asked that same question, and this was his answer. Hunter S. Thompson made this answer. If I written all the truth I knew for the past 10 years, about 600 people, including me, would be rotting in prison cells from Rio to Seattle today. And this is the quote that I want you to comment on, Bishop. Absolute truth is a very rare and dangerous commodity in the context of professional journalism.
Well, Mitch, let's be honest. You and I both have sacrificed relationships being honest with individuals. That's the price that you pay, or the sacrifice that is made when you say the truth, uncut, unaltered. You give it to them raw. It's a great possibility that what you share, as truthful as it may be, it may not be received, and it may not be of a benefit to the relationship at that particular time. And we must be honest. You know, am I gaining weight? Tell me, am I gaining weight? Am I too fat? Am I no longer attractive? Yeah, you're fat, you're unattractive, you've gained weight. That is not a truth that you're going to purport and think that you and that individual is going to stay in a harmonious connection. It just doesn't happen like that. You have to find other ways, use other language, other verbiage to convey that. But how many of us are tired of the placating and the cavalier conversations that cause people to be comfortable with truth? Should we just say it, or should we find the right opportunity to say it? But either way, if people are not prepared and they're not ready to receive it, they're going to push back against it anyway. Are they going to make excuses for it, or are they going to deflect?
Well, I know that, in my mature age now, I'm in the mature age now. I think back at my cavalier age where, I believed unequivocally that the truth will make you free.
It will. It will.
Yeah, make you free and by yourself. And yeah. And so, the older and the more mature I've become, I've tried to find the right vehicles to deliver truth in, because I think it's important. Truth, although it is the light, it is the beginning of peace. Let me help somebody. You want peace? Start being truthful with yourself. Hey, listen, I'm the first one. I'm the first one. I'm guilty. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the kind of person. Let me be transparent here. Let me have a Ralph West moment right now. Okay. I'm transparent to a fault. I remember when I was younger, I would say things and not even think about it because I knew it was the truth. I didn't know the definition of it might be truth, but not expeditious to tell right now. You know, that wasn't in my vocabulary. Truth needs to be told no matter what. I remember I told this woman in a business meeting in my church, I said, you are a troublemaker. I pointed at her. I said, you are a troublemaker. I think I might even got down on my one knee and said, you are a troublemaker. Now, that was somebody's wife. That was somebody's mother. That was somebody's sister. And the nerve of me, although it was true, she was a troublemaker. It was not right because I hurt her, because I had the mic in my hand. And just because you got the mic in your hand and the power doesn't give you the right to hurt people, you know? And I think that, you know, we see a lot of that kind of infliction upon people in the pews from people that hold the mic. And go ahead.
You know, philosophy now says there are 4 factors that determine the truthfulness of a theory or an explanation. And that is congruence, consistency, coherence, and usefulness. Now, when I start thinking about philosophy now and how they give us these 4 factors, congruence, consistency, coherence, and usefulness.
Usefulness
is what I'm sharing congruent to the moment? And then is it consistent with my own behavior? Because see, a lot of times people cannot receive truth because it's not, what I'm sharing is not consistent with what they see me model. And it's certainly not congruent to where I'm saying I'm going. And then those 2 things cause them not to see truth as being coherent. There's no coherence. So I'm giving them something that is not useful to me because they don't see the fruit of it being produced. So it's hard for them to receive the truth that I share. That's why it's very important for us that what we preach is congruent to our lifestyles, that there is a high level of consistency, and that the consistency and the congruence is coherent to those who we model it to, where they can now take what we model that's congruent, that's consistent, and they can apply it, that it is useful to them. And I think that becomes what's important to us as it relates to truth, because truth can be highly subjective. Someone put in the chat, would you rather an ugly truth or a pretty lie? Well, that's an easy answer.
Wow.
Most of us love pretty lies.
Yeah.
And we're good at it. But that's not truth.
Not truth. Not truth at all. Wow. So is it right to, so how do you, so all right, let's go back to the woman that, I just stepped totally out of character, and if anybody even remembers this, the woman is going on to be with the Lord now, but if there's anybody left in her family, and if there's a Mephibosheth out there, pronounce the word. What was
Mephibosheth?
Mephibosheth. Mephibosheth, yes, I'm just a little tongue-tied today. If there's a Mephibosheth out there today, please accept my apologies. I'm serious, because we should never use truth to hurt. We should use truth to help and liberate.
Well, let me defend you. Let me defend you, Mitch. Knowing you the way that I know you, I don't think that you would purposely, just premeditatively set out to hurt anyone. But I think both of us share this passion for right, wrong, and doing it in excellence. I think excellence is a big thing on our list to do. Excellence. I don't care how you do it, but if you did it to the best of your ability in excellence, I'm not going to bother you, because I know you put your best foot forward and you prepared for the moment. And I think we appreciate people that even if you're consistent as an irritant, be an irritant in excellence.
Yeah.
Just don't be a troublemaker in excellence. I think what happens with any of us, the point I'm trying to make is we don't just set out to premeditatively, on purpose, hurt people. And I find myself all the time apologizing for things I did in the past as I was maturing and matriculating into this position of pastor, because no matter what we think in the scriptures, it does not give us a blueprint and a playbook on how to be a great pastor other than feed my sheep, protect, guard, direct. And you can do all of those things well, but maybe your people skills aren't where they ought to be. Your patience is not where it ought to be. Your sensitivity may not be where it ought to be. And I think we all have been there as we evolve to where we would consider ourselves being senior men now in our 60s, where now we're reflecting on a lot of things we've done, and we realize we didn't do it properly and we don't want to revisit it. So we're quick to say, I messed up, I'm sorry. But I don't think I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that is always in order. I think learning the lesson that we don't revisit it and do it again is what's most important, because I think people will give us a pass when they know we genuinely love them.
That's true. And Bishop, let me give you just a little example. And again, those of you that are joining us late tonight, tonight's topic is on the liberating agent called what? Truth. How important is truth for your peace today? How important is truth for your sustainability today, your mental health today? Trust me, the truth will make you free, keep you free. Let me tell you something. And I don't want to, I'm not saying it tongue in cheek. I'm not saying it from the perspective of, truth, meaning, how can I say it? It's not just words. It's, I wrote something down that kind of describes this. Let me see if I could find it. Probably not. But it talks about what to look for when someone is truthful. Number one, they don't misrepresent what their skill sets are. If they tell you they can do something, they usually can do it. Okay? A truthful person, normally their word is their bond. If they tell you something, you could rest assured that it's true. So these are some of the characteristics of truth. However, when you think about telling the truth to someone in a sensitive situation. And did we answer that question for the sister? Did we do that? Wait a minute. There was one. Did we answer that question, Bishop?
I don't know. I didn't know it was a question from Christina. When we need correction, how can the truth be delivered in a way that is Christ-like when the situation may be heated? You know,
Yeah.
if I was to answer that question, Christina, I would say that, you know, Christ-like correction means I do it in love, period. I do it in love. I do it considering that what I'm giving you is not to hurt you or to harm you, but it is to make you better. Now, the form in which it is presented, I think that becomes the challenge, because when we're emotional, when we're passionate about something, it doesn't always come across in the most amicable way. But it doesn't mean what I'm saying is not going to benefit you. And I think that may be the real challenge. How do we deliver truth, even when what we are delivering is passionate to us and may come across abrasively, but we didn't intend for it to be abrasively? And then I think that's when people who know you come into play, because people that really are connected to you, that know you, understand that didn't come from a nefarious place. That came from a place of concern, and I'm just being passionate. It's just like many times when me and you have conversation, Mitch, and both of our voices elevate. We're not yelling at each other. We're just passionately trying to share our viewpoints. And I think that is important when we share truth, that when you elevate your voice or your body language changes, that you do it with people that know you, so they're not easily offended by the volume of your voice or the change of your body language. That's the best way to do that.
That's a great answer. Great answer. I hope that helped, Christina. Bishop, truthfulness is important, but so is not hurting people, right? So we established that, right? So truthfulness and tact go hand in hand. Using tact to deliver truth is a very, very important aspect of this, because if we don't invoke that, truth may be unacceptable, as you just said earlier, to those that hear it.
Well, tact is a secular word where we use the biblical word wisdom.
Right.
You know, sharing the truth in wisdom. You said tact, I say wisdom, knowing when, and then knowing how, and then knowing where to share. You know, but again, we can be very passionate about truth when we know it is unequivocally truth, when it's undeniable truth, when there is no gray areas, it's black and white, it's truth. I think we can become extremely premature many times in sharing it, not choosing the right words when we share it, and then being emotionally driven when we share it. So that's why, you know, and I know people get tired of me saying this, but man, this is the truth. This is the cornerstone of life, in my opinion. If you don't have control over your spirit, you're like a city broken down without walls. One of the elements or the ingredients of the fruit of the spirit is what? temperance, self-control. That means I want to say it, but I won't say it that way. I should say it, but I'm not going to say it at this particular time. I'm going to say it, but I'm going to use wisdom when I share it. And I think that may be a missing ingredient, or should I say, a missing behavioral trait in most of us. Because once we know truth, it's burning in us so bad, we have to share it.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Well, Bishop, a couple of things. We know that we're wrapping up. It's 9:50, and I want folks. Thank you, Barbara Waring. I want folks to start getting their seeds together now, to getting their offerings together. So put the ways to give up on the screen. And I want now. Last week we didn't get any offering last week. You know why? I forgot to ask. And I really believe the scripture that says you have not because you ask not. And I guess they must have said, well, they didn't ask. And so let me be clear. I still got to pay the engineers. I still got to pay the, people, listen, and we don't do this for money or anything like that and whatnot, but the ways to give are on the screen. So let's begin now to sow those seeds as the Lord has blessed you on this week. And if this ministry of dialogue has blessed you at all, get a seed tonight. If everyone got a seed tonight, go ahead, Bishop. You want to say something?
I don't do this often. I really put the weight on you to challenge the people to give. I never get involved in it. It's a burden that you carry, but it's an unfair burden that you carry because this is just me now. If the real talkers out there don't value what we're giving them, they shouldn't show up every Monday night, and neither should we. I think we've been doing this long enough now that we should have a core group of people that every Monday night should be sowing into the platform, not for us, because we don't make any money off of this, but to keep the excellence of presentation in place, because we must meet those obligations. This time may be free because you feel it's on YouTube or Facebook, but we're taking up the time of other professionals that we have to ensure that they're here every single week. And it almost becomes too repetitious that you and I, and you mostly more than I, have to make the offertory appeal. Come on, real talkers. When you come on this platform, myself, Bishop Taylor, we take time to bring you what we believe God has given us in terms of content to share with you. Now, if we sow into you that type of deposit, is it asking too much for you in return to sow back your natural, your money? Invest in the platform, because I've learned this: whatever you value, whatever you honor, you will make the investment. Whatever means something to you, you view it as an asset and not a liability. And you're going to do everything you can to undergird it. So it would really be nice. It would be really nice. And it would be impactful for us if the real talkers tonight would just start sowing seed. And, Bishop Taylor makes it very easy on you. But some of you could sow $100. You could sow $50. Maybe not every Monday, but there's some Mondays you can sow that $100 seed. You can give that $50 seed. You can give more than that. You can look at, we've been on the air for 3 solid years every Monday. There's 52 Mondays in a year. You could give $52. That's $1 for every Monday night of the year. I mean, if this platform, if what we're sharing is that meaningful, even if we don't ask for an offering or ask for you to support the platform, it should be by now something that you feel a burden to do in your heart. And I think that we're mature enough. Now, you don't want the truth tonight. You don't want the truth. And truth is designed to help you grow and help you mature. And you should want to make this investment in this platform into what God has given us to share with you. So, you know, Bishop, I don't know what your challenge is, but I think there's some people tonight that can meet the challenge of $100, can meet the challenge of $50, $20. I don't think we have to barter that. I think there are people out there listening and they feel my heart tonight because I never ask. I never bear that part of the responsibility of the show. But I really believe if this is meaningful to you, and for some real talkers, they can't wait till 9 o'clock because this helps them receive the fuel they need for the rest of the week. So why not invest in it? I'm not asking for your tithe that you bring to your local storehouse, but we are asking for you to support the platform. So the ways to give on the screen. I'm sorry, Bishop,
thank you.
Like that.
I would have never went through that. Thank you. That was very well said. I want to thank Corinne. Corinne broke the ice tonight. The first one to give, sowed a seed of 25 on tonight. Thank you, Corinne, for your seed of 25. And so I think you put it best, Bishop. There's some that can sow 100, some can sow 50, some can sow 5.
Yeah.
The reality is, I think what you said, the most important, everything you said is important. What stuck with me was, if you do something, it sends a message to us. When you do nothing, it sends a message to us. And so, you know, we want, like we said, we're not on here. Thank you. Oh, Stokes, thank you so much for your seed of 50 on tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Stokes. We're not on here because we want an offering or need an offering. But, you know, and Bishop, you don't, because you don't get into this, but I do get into a little bit. No, it does cost.
Yeah.
These platforms cost because we're not using the free platforms.
That's right.
We pay for this platform.
You're right.
You don't think about that, Bishop, but we pay. You ask Frankie and your administrator, we pay every month for this, and we don't have the free little one. No. I have a premium package. Premium plus.
Trust me, Frankie and Trinity just mentioned this to me a couple of weeks ago that I don't press enough or make the appeal enough because it's not for free, because we want to present it in a certain way. And the only way I know how to present it is in excellence. I'm not going to have a platform that does not reflect God. And God is a God of order and excellence. So, and you know, Mitch, I know this. The real talkers that are really our family, because they're family to us now. They love us and we love them. Same names, we call them out. I know they love us. And all we have to do many times is really convey the responsibility and the burden of doing this. Because no matter where we are on Monday night, we take our computers, we take our smart devices, and we're going to make sure we online. How many times over the last 3 years have you and I been in another state and another country that they may not have even known that we had to go through all of the technical changes to make sure that we could put together a broadcast of consequence. So, I think if we ask them, they're going to sow. But many times I don't ask, I don't put the pressure, but you bear that burden. And tonight I just felt led in my spirit to let the real talkers know. We do make sure that every technical person that is working, and they're working now, they're compensated, because we want to present to you the best of ministry. So all we ask in return is for you to sow, and we want you to feel that burden on Monday nights. I'm gonna give $5. I'm gonna give $3. I'm gonna give $2. I'm gonna give $100. Whatever you have, just sow it.
And listen, and the reason why, and let me tell you something. When the pandemic started, I doubled the salaries of my technical team. You know why? Because this is all that they listen. And the reason why I don't use volunteers, God bless volunteers, I love you, but volunteers say, Bishop, I don't feel like it tonight. I talked to the producer tonight. He said, "Oh, I'm still doing this." I says, "Okay, well, I'll still see you at 9." Because, there's an agreement, right? And so we want to make sure we keep our people. Wanda, thank you so much for your seed of 50. And I want to say to Stokes, thank you so much. She sold a seed to Highway and a seed to Kohai Nation of $50. Thank you so much.
Wow, Christina. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Justina, thank you so much for your seed. Melissa Redding, thank you for your seed of 25. Shirley Shea, thank you for your seed of 23. Wanda sold a seed of 50. Thank you. And then these are people that were sowing yesterday.
That's
in
right.
Church yesterday, all day yesterday too.
That's right.
Yvonne East, thank you for your seed of 23. That's a unique seed. Brenda Taylor, my namesake, thank you for your seed of 20 on tonight. Listen, it means something if you're sowing it. It's not even the amount. It's the fact that we're with you, you're with us, we're together. That's really what it's about. Finding the balance. As with many other qualities, you need to find the balance in truthfulness, neither overplaying or underplaying either of your virtues or your weaknesses. It is as bad to pretend that you are less good at something than you are as to exaggerate how good you are at something. Just be honest. Be truthful. I use this example often when Ralph Cramden and
the honeymooners
and what was his buddy's name that lived upstairs?
Ed
Norton, Alice, and Trixie. And so, Ed was a plumber and worked in the sewer. And, Jackie Gleason, he was a bus driver. And so Ralph Cramden, Jackie Gleason, when he get together with his friends, he always wants to make them think he's this big whatever. So one day, some of his friends are coming into town. They call him. They said, "Listen, come go out to dinner with us." And they was telling him, what their careers were now. And so he wanted to play like he owned the bus company and whatnot. So he had dinner. And so the bill comes. There's 4 of them at dinner. They had drinks and all this stuff. And so Alice already told him. He said, "Listen, you can't afford this dinner. Don't worry about it. They're not going to let us pay for the dinner." And so when the bill comes, they bring the bill. Ralph grabs the bill and he says, no, I'll pay it. Then Ralph says, "No, I'll pay it." And the guy says, "No, I'll pay it." And Ralph says, "I insist, I'll pay it." He says, "Okay, you pay it." As soon as he said that, he started speaking in tongues. Humany, because the truth was he couldn't afford to pay it. And a lot of times we're trying to impress people that we don't even like, and trying to keep up with people that it ain't even worth. And so, it's just be who you are. To your own self be true, and probably you won't be untrue to others. And so I think that, tonight, I think this was a great conversation. Bishop, thank you so much for, adding the subjective and the normative truth. I think that if we didn't do anything, that was a class nugget all by itself. All right. Can't get that outside of a seminary class. And here you are flinging these things out there like they're nothing. Listen, it's been real. Thank you, Real Talkers, for joining us on tonight. And don't forget, Bishop, on Wednesday morning, we have our Wednesday morning word. I want to encourage everyone, tune in, be with us on Wednesday morning. Sanctuary opens at 5 a.m. I start preaching at 6 a.m. sharp, 6 a.m. sharp. It's a tremendous blessing. Last week, we had Bishop Brian Keith Williams. I'll be preaching on this week. And so we're just looking forward to a great time. Bishop, you have something going on Friday?
No, well, Wednesday night, I just decided to do it. Well, I decided to do it on Saturday, but I just put it together today. Our 7 last words is going to be Wednesday night on our virtual platform. So, it was not something I had planned to do, but we're going to do that on Wednesday night on the School of the Bible. I'm doing my 7 last words there. I got 7 other ministers. I got 5 ministers, 2 elders. And then on Thursday night, I'm in Brooklyn with Bishop George Shorts, Archbishop George Shorts, and Dr. Tyrone Stevenson at the Hope Church for their Week of Passion Revival. And then Friday night, I'm on the platform live, but I think we're going to be beaming in because I'm preaching at the largest AME church in Piscataway, New Jersey for their Good Friday service, but it's going to be a revival night. So it's going to be, it's going to be powerful. It's going to be really powerful. So I'm looking forward to it.
Wow, that's going to be big. And we have our Good Friday celebration this Friday at the First Baptist Church of East Elmhurst at 7:30.
Wow.
Doors open at 7. And we have 7 dynamic speakers that will be sharing on Good Friday night. And I'm thinking about broadcasting it live on YouTube and Facebook. Still trying to work it out, the technology. And because we'll be at another church, and so we'll see how that works out. And if it's not going to be pristine, I'm not even getting involved in that, But so we got an exciting week ahead of us, and then of course Resurrection Sunday. I know where I'm gonna be at Sunday. We're gonna have church. So there's no question. We will have church.
Well, you know what? Sunday, I'm going to be 2 places. I'm going to be at the St. Luke Baptist Church at 7:00 Sunday morning. And then, of course, I'm going to do my live at 10 on virtual and then 12 in person Sunday. So it's going to be, I can't wait for Sunday. Resurrection Sunday is always that special day that we let it all hang out for the Lord on that day. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's great. This is great. All right. Well, listen, Holy Week is here. Holy Week is here. And it's going to be awesome. All right. Listen, Real Talkers, thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you so much for your partnership. And as I say every week, walk with the King today and be a blessing.